Hello everyone, I'm Nick from nextstepnick.com and today we're going to talk a little bit about Doom Eternal. I had to let that play out because that intro is so incredible. First things first as well, I really love the level of difficulties here. There's so many different options you can choose in regard to how difficult you want the game to be, and I really appreciated that and enjoyed that. It meant that I really tailored it to myself. Nightmare was enough. Let me be honest, Nightmare was enough. I was not doing like single life Nightmare. But first thing to say as well, the visuals in this game are incredible. The way they've captured the world around is just spectacular. But one minute you'll be looking at this wonderful vista and you'll see these incredible things like these old dead demons and this destroyed city, and straight away again you'll be back into the action. You'll straight away be fighting again, and it's just lovely. The little touches, the little set pieces that have been set around that just add to that feeling is just fantastic. The world is so vibrant in places as well. It changes and mixes things up. It's not just red and orange all the time, which was a bit of a problem on the last game in 2016 because it was all on Mars, you know. There was only so much you could do with sci-fi and orange. But they've done some really great stuff. In regard to the differences from 2016, well, let me be honest. All the things that you love from Doom 2016, yeah, they're all pretty much here, including stuff like this. It's just nice, it's beautiful and it's nice. The game also has that upgrade system that you saw in 2016 as well, so you've got that in regard to your guns, but it's a lot more in depth as well. The game isn't just Doom 2016 though, it doesn't just sit on its laurels, it's completely different. It's grown a lot from there. There's the upgrade system that you'll recognise, but there's additional things here where you have to juggle the idea of, okay, certain attacks to get health, certain attacks to get ammo, certain attacks to get armour, this extra stuff to charge up this special attack called the Blood Punch. It's stuff like that where you're really using things like runes and abilities and different types of tactic to fight, and it really makes it much more of a tactical shooter. It's way more complex than it used to be. You can't just run around shooting everything with a shotgun and hope for the best. You have to really use the new systems. You have to use the stuff offered by, for example, here you'll see the climbing mechanic now. It doesn't just add in a way of finding, you know, different places to go in the game, but it adds an extra layer of versatility to the combat as well. In regard to the world itself as well, it helps you to explore. There's a lot more you can do in regard to exploring the world, and just feeling these different kind of modes of transport, the momentum behind them is just, it's great. It's really, really fun. It's a really great way as well to encourage you to look around for secrets, different little items that are hidden around the world. And they're really cool as well. You can download maps and stuff that will give you an idea as to where they are, and then it's a case of finding the best ways that you can get to them using either the new versatile modes or just by having a look at your surroundings, taking note of what's there. Maybe there's an open grate above you, maybe there's a different way through. It's really, really cool. I like the fact as well that they've still got the little toys that they had before, but there's also cheat codes and other things like that, which means that you're basically getting all these different things that are all a bit new. Likewise, it's really embraced the story in a different way than it did in the last game. So there's a lot more to read, but in a way it makes things more interesting. It's just a great game. All the stuff you love is here, but there's more here as well. I mean, I really like the multiplayer mode that they've added in here that we'll be looking at the end. I've got a bit of an extended cut at the end for that, so stay tuned. But the single player itself as well is just, it's what you loved, but it's better. You're always kind of up against the wall. You're always about to die. You're barely clinging to life, and then you just feel awesome. I think that's the thing. It just makes you feel awesome. There were so many times whilst playing this. I played on Nightmare, and on the Nightmare difficulty, yeah, there were so many times where I thought, oh no, you know, this was the last moment for me. I was going to die here. It was my last gasp. I was going to get absolutely demolished by whatever was attacking me, but I just managed to hold out. Likewise, the world is way more vibrant and aggressive than it used to be, so there are traps and different environmental hazards trying to kill you as well. There'll be like flame blasts, there'll be like lightning turrets, there'll be all these different things firing off and attacking you, but also hurting the demons around you as well. So there's a lot more here. It's way more complex than the last game, but in a really positive way. You're always barely getting by with the skin of your teeth, you know? I would say that's probably the best way to play this. You can choose whatever difficulty you like, and like I say, there are a lot of options, but it felt really good to just kind of just creep by, just beat the odds each time. And don't get me wrong, I died a lot, but it's a case of just keeping track of all those different systems. You start off with the basics. You're using, for example, your guns. You've got your glory kills that you had in the last one where you do those attacks on enemies that are flashing. That'll give you health back. But later on, you're using stuff like a flamethrower that when you use it and then execute an enemy, you're going to get armour. If you kill them with the chainsaw like in the last game, you're going to get loads of ammo. If you beat an enemy via glory kills, you're going to slowly charge up that blood punch we were talking about. It's a case of balancing all these things whilst also keeping track of all of this aggressive action going on in the combat. It feels great. It honestly feels great. I don't know what I expected. I was hoping it would be as good as 2016, and I played a brief demo at QuakeCon, but I just love what they've done. I love the new enemies, I love the environments, I like the way they've really embraced this kind of weird and freaky world where, yeah, there are demons, but there's also this ancient lore and this weird otherworldly stuff going on, and the plot is generally interesting. It's not like the plot has kind of gotten in the way. I feel like 2016, one of the major selling points that I loved was that Doom Guy was kind of doing things on his own. There was like this plot happening around him, but he just didn't care. But in this game, you kind of find out more about who he is and where he comes from, and it's interesting. It's not handled badly. Anyway, though, let's have a look at the multiplayer, because I thought this was really interesting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put one round in. So I'm going to keep the music in, I'm going to keep everything as it was. I'm going to show you how this plays. Really, really interesting. I love the formula here. Doom 2016, you were playing basically Team Slayer versus Slayer, let's be honest, and sometimes you could turn into a monster. That was kind of cool. You could turn into a demon, you could become, for example, one of the Revenants, or you could do those kind of cool little bits. But in this one, it's so different. Basically, what's going on is I am the Slayer here, and I'm fighting against two players trying to take me down, both of which are playing as different demons. Now they have the ability to do a few different things here. They can summon demons to fight against me as well as fight me themselves. They can also do things like summon up little area of effect spells and stuff that can heal them, but can also make, you know, a difficult time for me. And the way that we win is either they take me down or I take both of them down at the same time. Because if I don't kill them within a certain window of one dying, so if I don't kill one and then the other very quickly, the other one will respawn. And honestly, this was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, it was frustrating, it was difficult, it was hard, and it really pushed me, but it was so much fun to play, because I think the thing was that there was so much tension here, because normally you feel, like I said earlier, you're just getting through those combat periods, you're just managing to win, but against another player, you know you've got that logic fighting you, you've got these AIs chasing after you as well, but like you saw there, my outline will be hidden sometimes, and I'll be able to jump them and frighten them and just basically take them out, or they'll be able to summon a load more monsters that'll be charging around trying to beat me whilst they're also trying to stay alive, and it just ends up brutal. It ends up changing the gameplay from... In the main game, don't get me wrong, you feel like a bit of a brutal killing machine. You feel like you're a bit of a god, and I mean, I'm guessing everyone's seen the advertising campaign here about how the demons, their only fear is you. And you kind of feel that for the most part, but you know, just as the solos of like guitar solos will be starting, or just as you really get in depth into things, you'll find that you'll tend to do okay, you'll tend to be out of combat, but this was one round and it was just insanely intense. Just the idea of everyone working against each other was just really, really good. I thought it was unique, I thought it was different. I think it kind of does similar things to stuff like Evolve, but flips on its head. And I know that's not really a good thing to say after how badly Evolve did and how, you know, Evolve wasn't exactly a great moment. But at the same time, it did some really, really interesting stuff when it came to one player as an enemy. Or like, for example, Left 4 Dead, where you had, you know, the 4 humans versus the 4 human players that are playing as the specialist zombies. This really puts that on its head, that you're the thing to be afraid of if you play as the Slayer. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was fun. It was tense. It was very, very tense. And don't get me wrong, there was quite a bit of swearing. I swore quite a lot when I finished this match, because I actually lose this match. This round it's kind of anyone's game at this point, but you can kind of see how quickly this can descend into just a bit of a monstrosity, just this really busy, hectic, frantic thing. But I think it's really a testament to id Software to show what they can do, to have something like this playing the way it does, with other players involved. You know, single player is one thing, but when you can keep this action going at this kind of pace when there's more than a couple of players, it's really, really good. I mean, 3-player matches, I'd like to see something like death matches like you saw in the old game, because don't get me wrong, I know it wasn't exactly well received when it came to the multiplayer, but there's something quite cathartic about just being in an arena and killing each other, and I'd like to see this, you know, grow as time goes on. I'd like to see if they're doing DLC for this at any point. maybe I'd like to see stuff like that as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know Doom 2016 didn't really have anything like that, but there's been some really interesting DLC in regard to the Doom and Quake games in the past. I'm a huge fan of id Software's stuff, so I used to play the old Quake 3 Team Arena. I used to love that. Quake Arena and Team Arena. So good, and there was so much there. And if we could see a similar kind of thing in the future, that would be nice. Like the way Team Arena kind of changed the aspects of Quake 3 was really, really interesting. And likewise with Doom. Doom 3 was a, you know, it was a mixed review game. Not everyone enjoyed it. But at the same time, I thought the Resurrection of Evil DLC was something really interesting, and I trusted Software. Don't get me wrong, I'm not always sure how I feel about Bethesda. There's been this whole thing this week about the fact that they put Denuvo in here in regard to a one of the services that kind of stops piracy and stuff like that, but it's kind of been proven not to work, and then there were some issues in regard to they didn't get it running correctly. I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't really researched that story because I've been too busy playing Doom. But when it comes to id Software, I think they've done some incredible stuff in regard to the Quake franchise over the last few years, and I'd love to see them continue with that. But honest to God, I've had a brilliant time of it. I've had a fantastic time. The single player is incredibly enjoyable. The combat is really fast paced. The amount of things that you kind of get given and the systems that you're juggling, it's kind of okay, because although there's a lot, there's a lot to take in, and sometimes you can be a bit overwhelmed. Once you get those systems down, and the game gives you time to learn, you're not just flung in. The game will give you like a little tutorial every now and then, just to give you a bit of an idea as to what each system does. Once you've got that down, you just feel like an absolute machine. It's a joy to play. It's an absolute blast. From start to finish, I had a fantastic, well, quite a fantastic time with the game. Loved it. Can't recommend it enough. And now, the only other game I'm playing is Animal Crossing. So I'm going to head back to that. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you are thinking about grabbing Doom, I would definitely recommend it. But at the same time, don't get caught inside the traps. Don't go for the kills, because you're always going to die. Don't get greedy. What has Dark Souls taught me? Clearly, absolutely nothing. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I hope I'll catch you again very, very soon.